Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 43 of the Toronto Thunderbirds franchise here on Madden NFL 22. Today we have our first season recap. We've gone through 6 games, so we made about a third of the season week-wise. So I thought it'd be a good time to just kind of go back, check to see what has happened and see where the league stands to start the year. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. Now, your Toronto Thunderbirds have started the season 4-2. They've been on a 3-game winning streak, and that's because they had a dominant run game as well as a dominant run defense. The defense has stepped up this year. The offense is doing good on the ground. The passing game has taken a step back, but Antonio Gibson has done a great job carrying the load. We're going to take a look at the standings first to see what's happening around the league. Currently, the best team in the league is the Cincinnati Bengals. They sit 5-1. The Chiefs also do sit 5-1. As far as the worst team, the Dolphins are 1-5, the Jets are 1-5, the Rams and the Raiders are all 1-5. By division, starting with the AFC North, you do have the Bengals, but the Browns are a half game behind, and the Steelers sit at 3-3, followed by the Baltimore Ravens, who are also 3-3. In the South, the Titans lead that division 4-2, but don't sleep on the Jaguars. First-year coach Byron Leftwich doing really good things in Jacksonville. They're also 4-2. Texans are 2-4, as well as the Indianapolis Colts. In the NFC East, this is a horrible division. The Bills are leading the division. They're 2-3. The Patriots, who were the best team in the AFC last year, are now 2-4, so they're having a hard time in the post-Bill Belichick era. And the Jets are 1-5, and the Dolphins, one of the biggest disappointments this year, are 1-5 despite the trade for Deshaun Watson. In the West of the AFC, it's the Chiefs, who are 5-1. The Broncos, though, 4-2. Spencer Rattler playing at a pretty decent level out there in Denver. The Chargers are 2-4, as well as the Raiders, who are 1-5. Now, to the NFC side of things. In the North, the Packers are 4-2. They've won 3 straight, starting to get their act together, while the Bears are also 4-2. The Lions are 3-2. They started off 3-0, but they've lost 2 straight. And the Vikings sit at 500 with 3-3. In the South, it's the Panthers, who are 4-2 to lead the division, followed by the Buccaneers, who are 3-3, the Falcons, who are 2-4, and the Saints, who are 1-4, despite last year being the best team in the NFC. In the East, we lead the division 4-2. We have the tiebreaker, but the Eagles are also 4-2. Cowboys 3-3, Giants 3-3, very tough division. And in the West, it is led by the 49ers, who are 4-2, followed by the Arizona Cardinals, who are also 4-2. The Seahawks, the representatives in the Super Bowl a year ago, are struggling at 2-4 in the post-Pete Carroll era. And then the Rams, 1-5. Scott Turner having a hard time in Los Angeles. For some reason, it just is not clicking with the Rams. We'll go to where we'll spend a majority of the episode. We'll take a look at our stats so far, see how our players are doing, as well as see how they stack up with the rest of the league. At quarterback, Fitzpatrick this year, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Outside of 2 quarters, he has yet to throw a pick, because remember, he threw 3 1/4 against the Bears, and he threw 2 1/4 a few weeks ago. So if it weren't for those 2 quarters, Fitzpatrick would be perfect. He's definitely having a down year. He's definitely showing a lot of regression, but that's because we've also been relying so much on the run game. That's because Gibson has already over 1,000 yards. Yes, 176 average. He's been tearing it up, 9 touchdowns, just building off of a record-breaking season a year ago. I would like to start, limiting Gibson's roles a little bit, but he's just playing at such a high level that why not just continue to run with him? Hopefully he doesn't, start to fall off in the second half of the season. Fitzpatrick also has 16 rushes for 124 yards. Kyron Williams has 7 for 33. Humphreys has 1 carry for 14. Doing a little bit more reverses this year. J.D. McKissick also has 7 carries for 14 yards, 2 for 6 for McLaurin, and 1 for 3 for Josh Adams. In the receiving game, our leading receiver, going by yards, is Terry McLaurin. 27 catches, 432 yards, 5 touchdowns for him. He's having kind of a bounce back year. He was a little bit underwhelming in 2021, but so far as 2022 is off to a pretty good start, and he's also a free agent at the end of this year, so we have to figure out, are we going to be able to come to an agreement on McLaurin for the upcoming years? I'd love to keep Terry McLaurin around. Curtis Samuel has 19 catches for 188 yards, but he is going to miss the next 5 games with a broken collarbone, so it's going to be hard to replace him again. De'Ami Brown, the second-year man out of North Carolina, has 14 catches, 178 yards, and a touchdown. A lot of these numbers are just lower because, like I said, we just did so much running the football. Gibson has 22 catches for 120 yards and a score. 9 for 97 for Thomas. He had a Pro Bowl year last year. He's not off to the same start. Hasn't been used almost at all. 5 for 76 for Humphreys. 8 for 64 for John Bates. And then J.D. McKissick also has 1 grab for 18. And Samus Reyes, the first Chilean-born NFL player, has a touchdown that we saw in the last game. And I don't think anybody's gone backwards. Blocking-wise, Donovan Smith has kind of struggled on that left side since coming over. Schwartz has also shown a little bit of struggles on the right side, while Chase Royer has done okay. Scherf was decent, but he's got hurt. Cosme has not done very good. But at left guard, Eric Flowers is yet to allow a sack. So he's also a free agent after this year. On defense, Landon Collins leads our team in tackles. If we go by sacks, Montez Sweat leads the team this year with 6 sacks. We saw him have a breakout season a year ago, and he's following up on it very well. Jonathan Allen, who does a lot in the run game, he does so much in the run game, has 5.5 sacks. He also did miss last week's game. Deron Payne has 4, having a little bit of a bounce back year, had a quiet 2021. He's also a free agent, so I'll decide with him and Matthew Ioannidis. Both have 4 sacks. Ioannidis did lead the team last year in sacks, but they're both free agents, so I don't know if we can keep both. We might just have to keep one, so we'll have to decide who is it going to be. Chase Young is 2.5. That's a little low for him. And then Ndamukong Suh has a sack. Made the team in preseason. He stepped up big in that game that Jonathan Allen was hurt. So he's a great rotational piece. Interceptions. We've had a lot more interceptions this year, it seems like. And Kendall Fuller has already gotten 4. He's gotten his hands on a lot more, but Kendall Fuller has sneakily, I would say, turned into a phenomenal man coverage corner. He gets his hand on footballs. He does get mossed sometimes, and he is 5'11", so he's a little bit shorter. But I think Kendall Fuller is a great corner. William Jackson III's also had a very good year. He has 2 interceptions of his own. Cameron Curl has 1. So does Trey Herndon, a great, I would say, nickel corner he's done so far. And then Derek Forrest, the backup strong safety, who's played very well in dime packages, I would say, has got an interception as well. Forced fumbles, 2 for Deron Payne, 1 for Sweat, 1 for Ioannidis, and 1 for Landon Collins. We'll go to kicking. Rodrigo Blankenship's had a very interesting year. He's been perfect from field goals, but he's already missed 4 extra points. So that's a little odd, but Rodrigo Blankenship will be our kicker for the foreseeable future. Punter, Trustway's done a pretty decent job, I would say. We haven't had any returns yet, so that does it for our team stats. Let's see who's leading the league already in the early part of the season. Trevor Lawrence leads the league with almost 2,000 passing yards already, with 14 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, having a great sophomore campaign. Byron Leftwich and company just doing a great job down there in Jacksonville. Tom Brady still kicking, 1,850 yards, 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Burrow's also got 1,800 plus. Sorry if you heard my dog shaking in the background. Touchdown leader is Patrick Mahomes, though. He has 17 touchdowns, only 1 interception. That's an impeccable ratio. And then it's Trevor Lawrence, Tom Brady. Baker Mayfield also has 14 touchdowns. Interceptions. Russell Wilson has thrown 8. So has Justin Fields and the rookie Malik Willis out of Liberty. They all lead with 8. Lawrence has 7. Rodgers has 7. And so does Justin Herbert in Los Angeles. The Chargers, I would imagine Staley is on the hot seat. Rushing, it's Antonio Gibson is not even close. He has 1,000. The next closest Ezekiel Elliott was 614. Touchdown-wise, also Gibson, 9 touchdowns. Derrick Henry has 8, and Ronald Jones of the Buccaneers has 8 as well. For the receiving game, the leading receiver in yards is Tyler Lockett with 609, followed by Keenan Allen with 581. Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Bucks, then CeeDee Lamb of the Cowboys, and T. Higgins of the Bengals all have plus 500. The reception leader is Robbie Anderson, the newest Jaguar. He was acquired in the preseason in a trade that sent Andrew Norwell back to the Panthers. He has 44 catches. Robert Tonyan of the Colts leads all tight ends with receptions. In terms of the tight end receiving leader, it is also Robert Tonyan with 409 yards. Touchdown-wise, Rondale Moore has 6 of the Cardinals. So does Jarvis Landry and Randall Cobb. We see Deontay Johnson of the Steelers, Calvin Ridley of the Falcons, Tommy Tremble, who leads the tight ends, the Panthers, with 5. Travis Kelce also has 5, and then Terry McLaurin rounds out the 5 group. As far as defensively, Chris Barnes, the newest Dolphin, leads the NFL in tackles, somebody that we had some interest in free agency but couldn't bring in. Sacks, it is Myles Garrett with 6.5. Jeffrey Simmons has 6, so does Von Miller and J.J. Watt. And we're not showing up, it seems like, with the Madden glitch still, because Montez Sweat also has 6. And Derek Barnett also had 6.5, so you gotta love Madden and their glitches that never get fixed. L'Jarius Sneed has 4 interceptions, but like we saw, so does Kendall Fuller. They lead there. Have there been any return touchdowns? Yes, Anais Smith, the rookie out of San Francisco, the 49ers, has a return touchdown kicking-wise, but punting there has not been. Oh, no, there has been one. Randall Cobb, the old man, gets one in the punt game. So that does it for the majority of this episode, a little bit quicker. Last thing I do want to do is show you guys the quarterback class for this upcoming draft, the 2023 NFL draft, because I have scouted all the quarterbacks. And like last year, there's one guy who's probably going to go number 1. He's going to be the top quarterback, and it's really not even close, and that's Bryce Young of Alabama, putting together a great season with the Crimson Tide. They're going to be a playoff contender again, and he will probably win the Heisman. So Bryce Young, I can see following the same route that Spencer Rattler did last year and probably going number 1. Behind him, other first-round projected quarterbacks could be C.J. Stroud of the Ohio State Buckeyes. He has a great arm, and a great arm and a great short game. And then Max Johnson of the LSU Tigers also has a great arm, pretty good short game. But they're both, I would say, second-round talent. And after that, it really falls off. Tanner Mordecai of SMU. He's probably the best deep thrower in the class, but his underneath stuff has some work. He's more likely a into the draft pick. DJ Uiagalelei, who was a Heisman favorite this year, has not played very good. Clemson has not played good at all, and he went from being a potential maybe first-round quarterback to maybe barely being drafted. I think DJ would benefit from going back to school for another year, but it seems like DJ will come out of college. So I'll have to see if a team takes a third-round flyer on him. I think a team definitely will. Then you kind of go to undrafted quarterbacks. Devin Leary of NC State, who is undraftable. Brandon Armstrong of Virginia, who has a strong arm, and that's really it. Holton Ahlers of East Carolina is another quarterback. This is your day 3 quarterbacks. No really accuracy there. He's just better outside the pocket. Sam Hartman of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, I think was probably the best out of this bunch, honestly. Bo Nix of the Auburn Tigers, who can throw it kind of deep but struggles to be consistent. JT Daniels of Georgia is also in this draft class. And then Phil Jurkovec of Boston College, who could probably, he might be the most intriguing size-wise with 6'5" and a scrambler archetype. So he might be one of the fastest quarterbacks, and he's 6'5". So I don't know if there's really a quarterback we're going to be able to hit. I think Bryce Young is going to go number 1. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with us in quarterback next year, because there's really not a lot of good ones again. And Fitzpatrick there's a chance he retires after this year. In terms of my overall draft board, I've kind of been going through the first-round prospects. That's usually what I do first. And the top player on my board right now is George Pickens out of Georgia, the wide receiver. He has A's across the board, great short route running, great medium route running, and great release. So I'm assuming his deep route running is also pretty good. He probably will be out of our selection, though, if we make the postseason. I also do like Will Anderson as an edge rusher. We really don't need any more depth on that front, but he has great finesse moves. He's going to be very fast. He is leading the NCAA in sacks out of Alabama currently. So just an interesting prospect. I like when you see A's across the board. That always puts you on my board. Kelly Ringo, the cornerback out of Georgia, doesn't have A's across the board, but he's the best corner, I think, in this class. He has great man coverage ability and has a very, very good zone. He can press you, so he hits all 3. And despite Fuller, I think, being a very good corner, we really don't have a lockdown number 1 corner who's going to just follow top targets around the field. And I think Kelly Ringo could be that man. And then lastly, I do have Peter Skoronski. I know I butchered that. Skoronski out of Northwestern as a left guard. Like I said, with Flowers, he is a free agent, so if we do want to replace him, I think Peter would be the best option. So that's all I really have. I'll show you more of the draft board as we get deeper into the season, but that's all I have for you guys today. Just a little recap around the league. Next episode, we will face the Green Bay Packers, who are also 4-2 in a primetime matchup, so that'll be a good one. Hope you guys are excited for that one. Hope you guys enjoyed this little recap. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.